Part 174. Heaven-Swallowing Record. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1741. Wu Yu and the cloth bag arhat were chatting while moving towards the depths of the chaos domain. Basically, Wu Yu kept the topic on Xianzang, the Supreme Buddha. Unfortunately, after communicating for a long time, he couldn't get anything useful out of the mouth of the arhat. So Wu Yu didn't bother to talk anymore. Arriving deeper in the chaos domain, you can find that the surrounding interstellar fog has become more dense. Flying fireballs are constantly passing through the void, bringing with it a flow of dense fog. The entire chaos domain became very quiet, and blocked by the endless fog, it was impossible to see too far away. But soon, Wu Yu and Bagai Luhan heard some movement from the front at the same time. As the movement got closer and closer, when the two of them walked around a broken star, they finally saw a figure. It turned out to be a holy Buddha, possessing the cultivation level of the fourth level of the Supreme Saint Buddha realm. Namo Wisdom Holy Buddha. Wu Yu recognized the other party's identity at once through the memory of the long-eyebrowed Arhat Buddha. This holy Buddha of wisdom Namo is not bad at all in terms of strength. If he were to search for the relics of the holy Buddha in this chaotic realm, there would be very few opponents for him. It's a pity that what appears in front of him now is a cloth bag arhat and a long eyebrow arhat holy Buddha. Both of them are existences at the fifth level of the Supreme Saint Buddha realm. Although it is only one level higher than Namo Wisdom Holy Buddha, this level is completely different. Whether it is the bag arhat or the long eyebrow arhat holy Buddha, they can easily kill Namo Wisdom Holy Buddha, not to mention that the two of them appear together now. When Wu Yu and Bagai Arhat appeared, Namo Wisdom Saint Buddha's expression suddenly changed. Arhat with a cloth bag, Arhat with long eyebrows. Meet the two Arhats. Namo Wisdom Holy Buddha immediately bowed down respectfully, and at the same time, seemed to be preparing to escape. Long may, we seem to be lucky. The cloth bag arhat narrowed his eyes and said with a smile, Namo Wisdom Holy Buddha seems to have a holy Buddha relic on his body. Chenmei, let's join hands and don't let him escape. After the matter is completed, the holy Buddha relic will be yours. This the remains of Namo Wisdom Buddha belong to me. Can. Wu Yu nodded expressionlessly. He is now the image of the long-eyebrowed arhat and the holy Buddha, and has no intention of exposing his strength. If we join forces with the Hotai Arhat, we won't be afraid of the holy Buddha of Namo Wisdom escaping at all. Immediately afterwards, the cloth bag Arhat smiled slightly and raised his hand, and a big Buddha handprint as big as a star came down and struck towards the holy Buddha of Namo Wisdom. The holy Buddha of Wisdom Namo didn't seem to expect that the Bagai Arhat would take action directly. He was startled and immediately used the holy Buddha's magical power to resist. The holy Buddha of Wisdom Namo's methods are not weak either. When his holy Buddha magic power was displayed, it seemed as if the Buddha's light of infinite wisdom bloomed from the void, condensing into a black Buddha circle on the top of the head of the Buddhist world, and actually resisted the suppression of the big Buddha's handprint of the Bagai Arhat. Chenmei, why don't you take action? The Butai Arhat looked a little surprised, and then glanced at Wu Yu. He was a little displeased when he saw Wu Yu still motionless. Even he had already made a move, but this long eyebrow was actually indifferent. The cloth bag Arhat noticed him, and Wu Yu could only cooperate. However, he must have used a method from the holy Buddha of the long eyebrow Arhat, and it was impossible to use it with all his strength. Anyway, two people at the fifth level of the Supreme Saint Buddha realm are definitely enough to deal with one Namo Wisdom Saint Buddha. Holy Eyebrow. The two huge eyebrows of the long-browed Arhat Buddha transformed by Wu Yu finally took action, cutting through the void and whipping towards Namo Wisdom Saint Buddha from two directions. Facing these two huge eyebrows, the holy Buddha Namo Wisdom seemed to be more nervous and quickly withdrew his attention. He actually integrated directly into his own Black Buddha realm, using the Black Buddha realm to resist Wu Yu's two huge eyebrows. Perhaps it was because he had just experienced a battle. In the Black Buddhist world of Namo Wisdom Buddha, there was no trace of mortals at all. Most of them had been devoured and strengthened by him in the previous battle. The Black Buddha realm came towards me and blocked the two huge eyebrows released by Wu Yu. Terrifying power erupted in the void. Under the whipping of those two eyebrows, the entire huge Buddhist world of Namo Wisdom Buddha was pushed back and directly hit the already shattered star. The stars were immediately shattered into pieces by the Black Buddha realm and scattered towards the surrounding void. At the same time, the true form of the Holy Buddha of the Bag Arhat was actually integrated into the Buddha realm. The giant Black Buddha realm exuded terrifying power, as if it could kill the Holy Buddha of Namo Wisdom in the next moment. However, at this moment, Wu Yu suddenly became alert. Because the target that the Arhat wanted to attack at this time was actually not the Holy Buddha of Wisdom Namo, but him who was standing next to him. While Wu Yu was swinging out his two long eyebrows to attack the Holy Buddha of Wisdom, the giant Buddha realm of the Bagai Arhat directly suppressed Wu Yu, as if the sky was falling, and it was coming in the blink of an eye. For a moment, all Wu Yu could see was the giant Buddhist world of the Arhat with a bag. Sure enough, we took action. Wu Yu was thinking in his mind, but there was no surprise at all. After all, when he first dealt with the Holy Buddha of Wisdom Namo, he did not use all his strength, let alone his own methods. Therefore, even when his two huge eyebrows were lashed out, he was still guarding against every move of the Bag Arhat. Now it seems that this cloth Bag Arhat is really going to attack him. This chapter is not over yet, please click on the next page to continue reading the exciting content. And at the same time, the giant Buddha world of Namo Wisdom Holy Buddha also restrained the two huge eyebrows, and then suppressed Wu Yu in another direction. The two major Buddha worlds joined forces to suppress him. Wu Yu was either facing the Buddha world of the cloth Bag Arhat or the Buddha world of Namo Wisdom Holy Buddha. If it was the long-browed Arhat Holy Buddha himself, he would at least be seriously injured under the joint attack of the two sides, and there would be nowhere to escape. It's a pity that neither the cloth Bag Arhat nor the Namo Wisdom Holy Buddha knew that the long-browed Arhat in front of them was actually not the long-browed Arhat Holy Buddha. It was Wu Yu, who had already killed the long-browed Arhat Holy Buddha, an emperor immortal from the heavenly palace fairyland. Sure enough, they have joined forces. No wonder the Buddha Arhat took the initiative to lead the way just now, just to lead me into the encirclement. What a pity. Even when facing the joint efforts of Namo Wisdom Buddha and Buddha Arhat, Wu Yu was not afraid at all. But he was not in a hurry to face the simultaneous suppression of the two Buddhist realms of the other side. The next moment, he suddenly turned into his original body and displayed the magical power of the law of heaven and earth. He directly changed into the size of a small world, holding the Ruyi Jinggu Bang in his hand, and smashed directly towards the Buddhist realm of Namo Wisdom Buddha. The sky collapsed and the earth split. Wu Yu suddenly changed into his original body, which made Namo Wisdom Buddha and Buddha Arhat stunned. They never thought that the long-browed Arhat Buddha, who was working together to deal with, suddenly turned into another strange appearance, and this appearance, they had not seen for millions of years, only heard of it in legends, and seemed to have a little impression in the depths of their memory, but they could not remember it at all. Is it the Emperor Fairy of the Tiangong Fairyland? Buddha Arhat was a little surprised. But at this moment, the giant Buddha world of Namo Wisdom Buddha was smashed down by Wu Yu's Ruyi Jinggu Bang, and the terrifying power was transmitted to the entire Buddha world, causing the dark Buddha world of the size of a small world to tremble violently. The power that was enough to shatter the small world was unreservedly blasted on the Buddha world of Namo Wisdom Buddha at this moment. Originally, the mortals and sentient beings in the Buddha worlds of Namo Wisdom Buddha and Buddha Luhan had long died, and it was unknown when they were devoured by them as power to fight. But now, there is nothing in their Buddha worlds, and for Wu Yu, there is no hesitation at all to kill them. Break it for me. Wu Yu held the Ruyi Jinggu Bang, and his body, which was the same size as the small world, rushed towards the Buddha world of Namo Wisdom Buddha. The two sides collided heavily, but the Buddha world of Namo Wisdom Buddha had just suffered a heavy blow from the Ruyi Jinggu Bang. After being hit by Wu Yu, the entire Buddha world began to shatter. This was just one move. Wu Yu attacked Namo Wisdom Buddha with the Ruyi Jinggu Bang. Just one move of the magic power that could break the sky and split the earth almost broke the entire Buddhist world. At this moment, as the entire huge dark Buddhist world broke, Wu Yu directly hugged the planet-sized Buddha relic, and then temporarily placed it in the starry sky without touching it. After all, the Buddha relic was the size of a planet and a small world, and Wu Yu's Tiantian Emperor realm could not fit it at all, so he could only put it aside first. There was also a cloth bag Arhat who was eyeing him covetously, so Wu Yu could not take it lightly. After all, the cloth bag Arhat had the epic artifact of the Tunshan cloth bag, and was the most dangerous person among the 18 Arhats, and was definitely stronger than the long-browed Arhat Buddha. The reason why he had to kill Namo Wisdom Buddha first was because he did not want to be disturbed by others when fighting the cloth bag Arhat. As Wu Yu's Ruyi Jinggu Bang was withdrawn, the Buddha world of Namo Wisdom Holy Buddha completely collapsed, and his life was lost with the collapse of the Buddha world. He never thought that he would die in the hands of an extremely unfamiliar existence in a single encounter. The Buddha world shattered and collapsed. Wu Yu's huge body held the Ruyi Jinggu Bang, proudly standing in the void, and turned around to face Bude Luhan. "Who are you? Why did you sneak into my Tianfo immortal realm?" Bude Luhan couldn't smile anymore. He looked a little irritable. He didn't expect Wu Yu to kill Namo Wisdom Holy Buddha in an instant. Unfortunately, how could Wu Yu answer him? When Bude Luhan asked in a harsh voice, he had already made another move. Ruyi Jinggu Bang, dizzy. With a blow on his head, the broken void fell towards Bude Luhan, shaking away the thick fog around him. The terrifying power contained in the stick made Bude Luhan's face become extremely solemn. Heaven Swallowing Record. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1742. When Wu Yu swung the Ruyi golden cudgel with his dizzy magical power, the Arhat's expression finally became solemn. He finally took out the Tiantian cloth bag he had been carrying on his back. Facing Wu Yu's Ruyi golden cudgel, the cloth bag Arhat directly threw the sky-swallowing bag into the void, and it lay in the void in front of the Ruyi golden cudgel. As the terrifying power of the Ruyi golden cudgel fell, the sky-swallowing cloth bag unexpectedly erupted with an unparalleled suction force, as if several magic holes were combined together in the chaos domain. In the next moment, the dizziness power burst out from the Ruyi golden cudgel was actually swallowed up by the sky-swallowing bag. For a moment, even Wu Yu was a little surprised. He didn't expect that the other party's sky-swallowing bag was really capable. However, after devouring the power of the Ruyi golden cudgel, the sky-swallowing bag seemed to be dazzled and somewhat out of control. The Bude Arhat wanted to swallow Wu Yu together with the sky-swallowing Bude, but the dazed sky-swallowing Bude simply refused to obey his orders and remained motionless in the void. "Tell me your identity. Otherwise you will die today." The bag Arhat is still determined and wants to know who Wu Yu is. He still has great confidence in himself. Although Wu Yu killed Namo Wisdom Buddha with one move, for him, that power should not be able to kill him. "You are the one who must die today." Wu Yu didn't bother to talk nonsense to the other party. This man Bag Arhat had planned to ambush him from the beginning, and then he made a sudden attack. If Wu Yu hadn't had some tricks, he would have been dead by now. Even if it were the long-browed Arhat Holy Buddha who had just been attacked by the two Buddhist realms, it would be impossible to escape, or at least he would be seriously injured. Therefore, Wu Yu had no sympathy for the Bagai Arhat at all. If anyone hesitates about such an insidious existence, he will be the one who suffers the consequences, and he will definitely suffer big losses, and may even pay for it with his life. Fire eyes and golden eyes, burning the sky. Wu Yu did not stop and continued to use his magical powers. I saw a flash of golden fire in his eyes. This golden fire seemed to be able to penetrate the void and burn directly on the Buddhist world of the Bag Arhat. The terrifying burning caused the Buddha Arhat's Buddhist world to tremble crazily. Waves of ripples in the void, carrying the power of the violent Buddhist world, poured down on the sky-burning fires, trying to extinguish all the sky-burning fires. However, Wu Yu's fiery eyes always maintained the state of burning the sky. Not only did the fire of burning the sky not go out, but it became more and more powerful. After all, in the Buddhist world of the Bag Arhat, all mortal beings have long since perished. Without mortals to devour him, his power in the Buddhist world cannot compare to that of the long-eyebrow Arhat Holy Buddha at that time. For Wu Yu, he didn't even need to use burning to deal with such a Bag Arhat. However, when the burning sky fire was burning the opponent's Buddhist world in a stalemate, the sky-swallowing bag finally recovered from the stunned state, and was immediately activated by the Bag Arhat. A terrifying suction force directly swallowed up all the burning sky flames. Got in. After Tian Buddha absorbed the burning sky fire, he no longer had the side effects of being dizzy just now. No matter what kind of emperor you are, you will die here today. Wow! The cloth bag Arhat yelled, and the sky-swallowing cloth bag instantly expanded, becoming larger than a small world, and just like that, it enveloped the place where Wu Yu was. It seemed that the Bag Arhat wanted to use the sky-swallowing bag to swallow Wu Yu directly and then refine his body. It's just that Wu Yu certainly won't be afraid of the other party's methods. King Kong Shield. Wu Yu directly used the magical power of the third seal of the Ruyi golden cudgel, and a golden shield appeared around him, completely protecting him. When the terrifying devouring power of the sky-swallowing bag came to Wu Yu, it was directly blocked by the Vajra shield, and it was impossible to shake Wu Yu at all in a short period of time. This is the method of our heavenly Buddha immortal realm. Who are you? At this time, Bag Arhat suddenly exclaimed. He also finally discovered that the method used by Wu Yu seemed to be the magical power of the Holy Buddha. It was actually the same as some of the magical powers in their Tianfo immortal domain, except that it changed from black to gold. That golden shield is like the defensive magical power that some holy Buddhas can cultivate, and the Buddha realm shield has extremely strong defensive capabilities and can even resist the swallowing of the sky-swallowing bag. This shocked Bag Arhat. But no matter what questions he asked, Wu Yu didn't bother to answer him. At the moment, the most important thing was to kill the Arhat. Saying even one more word may distract Wu Yu and lead to changes in the final result. Seeing Wu Yu's indifference, the Mandarin Arhat finally stopped talking. There was a ferocious look in his eyes, and he still remained within the Buddhist world, approaching Wu Yu with the entire Buddhist world. The next moment, a black light emitted from the Buddha realm. When the black light appeared, it seemed that even the surrounding void was corroded by black, and it actually had the effect of corroding the void. Immediately afterwards, the dark Buddhist world of the Bag Arhat, with that black light, suppressed it heavily towards Wu Yu. Holy Buddha's teachings, Black Buddha's bones are eaten away. When his Holy Buddha's Dharma was displayed, the entire dark Buddhist world was shrouded in the light of the Black Buddha corroded bones, and everything it touched was corroded, even the void. This is the super powerful method of the Bag Arhat. Even if the long-browed Arhat Saint Buddha himself is here, even if he has swallowed the power of all sentient beings in the Buddhist world, he may not be able to resist this move head-on. This chapter is not over yet. Please click on the next page to continue reading the exciting content below. And now, Wu Yu has cast the Vajra shield. Although it can protect him from being sucked away by the heaven-swallowing bag, he cannot move. The main reason is that the swallowing power of the heaven-swallowing bag is too strong. It stretches across the void and directly restricts Wu Yu's movements. Now it is very difficult for Wu Yu to move. Seeing the huge Buddhist world covered with black bone-eroding light of the Bag Arhat collapse, the imperial world immortal power in Wu Yu's body surged in the next moment, and quickly condensed into clones in the surrounding void. There are a total of 5 million clones, which directly consumed all the imperial world immortal power in Wu Yu's body. 5 million clones almost occupied the entire void, and then almost at the same time launched an attack on the Buddhist world of the Bag Arhat. Break the world. The world-shattering power of the somersault cloud is Wu Yu's strongest power now. When the 5 million clones burst out together, an indescribable world-shattering power burst out from the inside of the giant Buddha world. The giant Buddha world of Bade Arhat was surrounded by a black bone-eroding light, but at this moment, it was unable to corrode the world-shattering power exerted by Wu Yu. Instead, it was shattered by the infinite world-shattering power and scattered into the surrounding void. The entire Black Buddha world gradually fell apart in Bade Arhat's unbelievable eyes. And Bade Arhat's life and consciousness also perished with the shattering of the huge Buddha world. His Black Buddha world directly broke into dozens of parts and split in all directions. He never thought that he would die here today. Originally, he designed to frame the long-browed Arhat Saint Buddha, but in the end, not only did an Emperor Immortal with the power of the Saint Buddha appear, but this Emperor Immortal also killed him. As his consciousness dissipated, the heaven-swallowing bag, which had been lying in the void and constantly releasing devouring power, finally calmed down completely. It's over. Feeling the demise of the Bag Arhat's consciousness, Wu Yu finally breathed a sigh of relief. In the field, the Black Buddha world of Namo Wisdom Buddha and Bag Arhat were all broken into pieces and scattered in the void. These remains were also treasures for Wu Yu. Unfortunately, the black air had already spread in his heaven-swallowing emperor realm. He didn't dare to devour it again in a short time, for fear of any bad impact on the heaven-swallowing emperor realm. How can I take away the remains of the two great Buddhas, plus a holy Buddha relic? Wu Yu thought about it and cast his eyes on the calm heaven-swallowing bag. His eyes lit up. This heaven-swallowing bag seemed to be a good treasure. He returned to his normal size, and then approached the heaven-swallowing bag. He found that after losing the control of the Bag Arhat, the heaven-swallowing bag became a very ordinary bag. Wu Yu regained control of the heaven-swallowing bag and found that he still needed to refine the epic artifact before he could control it. This was not difficult, after all, the Bag Arhat was dead, and it was easy to subdue the ownerless epic artifact. Not long after, he completely refined the heaven-swallowing bag into his own epic artifact. Collect. Wu Yu controlled the heaven-swallowing bag and easily put the two holy Buddha remains into the heaven-swallowing bag. He found that the heaven-swallowing bag could refine the holy Buddha's remains, or preserve the remains intact. When Wu Yu wanted to devour them in the future, he could devour the two holy Buddha remains at any time. Whether it was a bottleneck of breakthrough or a critical moment to replenish the Emperor Realm's immortal power, it would be very useful. This heaven-swallowing bag is not bad. It is an excellent thing to store the holy Buddha's corpse. Wu Yu was quite satisfied. After putting away the heaven-swallowing bag, he took the holy Buddha's relic and planned to leave this place. At this moment, there were still some movements of the holy Buddhas in the chaos domain, coming from far away. It was unknown which holy Buddhas were still fighting fiercely, trying to find the holy Buddha relics. Anyway, Wu Yu's goal had been achieved, so there was no need to stay in this chaos domain. After all, if he stayed there, he might encounter some accidents. He changed into the appearance of the long-browed Arhat holy Buddha again and flew away from the chaos domain. I didn't expect that I would get the holy Buddha relics after coming to this chaos domain. Wu Yu was a little surprised. After all, he originally came here with the mentality of giving it a try, but he encountered such a thing, and was jointly calculated by the Bade Arhat and the Namo Wisdom Holy Buddha. Fortunately, his means were not weak, and the two of them had devoured all the mortal beings in the Buddhist world earlier, otherwise even if Wu Yu could win in the end, he would have to pay a more painful price. Chapter 3. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Heaven Swallowing Record. Author, Feng Qing Yang. Chapter 1743. Wu Yu left the chaos domain and first transformed into the appearance of the long-browed Arhat Saint Buddha. However, along the way, he gradually devoured the Bag Arhat and soon transformed into the image of the Bag Arhat. In this way, he would not be suspected of carrying the swallowing heaven bag. From where he is now, it will take some time to rush to the Supreme Buddha domain. So he was still looking for traces of the Saint Buddha's relics along the way. His luck was pretty good. He happened to encounter the birth of 3 Saint Buddha relics along the way. Originally in the heavenly Buddha immortal domain, the Saint Buddha's relics were extremely precious things, and even in the chaos domain, they would not be born so frequently. Before, Namo Baya Buddha, even if he was seriously injured, had to participate in the fight for the Saint Buddha's relics. This shows that every birth of the Saint Buddha's relics attracted many Saint Buddhas to fight for them. Unfortunately, Wu Yu is now in the image of the Bag Arhat. The entire heavenly Buddha immortal domain knows about the evil reputation of the Bag Arhat. So when he came to the place where the holy Buddha's relics were born, the other holy Buddhas watched him take action and took away the holy Buddha's relics, and did not dare to fight for them until the end. After all, once they fought for them, basically with the means of the cloth Bag Arhat, they would never let them go. Even when Wu Yu appeared in the image of the cloth Bag Arhat, some of the holy Buddhas around did not dare to stay where they were, for fear of being swallowed by his swallowing cloth bag and finally turning into pure energy and losing their lives. There were also some existences in the 4th level of the Supreme Holy Buddha realm, relying on their own strong strength, and wanted to unite with other holy Buddhas to compete with Wu Yu. But Wu Yu just casually used the means of the cloth Bag Arhat and easily suppressed these guys. The cloth Bag Arhat is one of the stronger holy Buddhas. Acting in his image really saves a lot of trouble. Wu Yu spent 5,000 years and finally got 3 more holy Buddha relics. At this time, he had no time to hang around outside. According to the memory of the cloth Bag Arhat, the day of the 10,000 Buddhas paying homage to the ancestor was approaching, and he had to rush to the Supreme Buddha realm as soon as possible. In order to snatch the 3 holy Buddha relics, he even deviated a lot in a farther direction. But fortunately, Wu Yu could use the instant magical power of the somersault cloud to make up for the time spent fighting for the holy Buddha relics. When he finally approached the location of the Supreme Buddha realm, he changed back into the appearance of the cloth Bag Arhat, carrying the swallowing heaven cloth bag, which also contained the Buddhist corpse of the Namo Wisdom Holy Buddha. As for the holy Buddha relics, they were placed in the Buddhist world, which was also convenient to carry. The Supreme Buddha realm was a domain with golden Buddha light. Around this domain, a large number of holy Buddhas had gathered to prepare to participate in this 10,000 Buddhas paying homage to the ancestors. The day of the 10,000 Buddhas paying homage to the ancestors was not far away, and it could be felt that the atmosphere around this Supreme Buddha realm was extremely tense. Basically, every Saint Buddha acts alone and does not trust anyone else. There are even many fierce battles that are constantly breaking out outside the Supreme Buddha realm, where many Saint Buddhas are fighting for the Saint Buddha relics. This is an extremely cruel world. At this moment, outside the Supreme Buddha realm is almost equivalent to a microcosm of the entire Tianfo immortal realm. Wu Yu looked around and saw that outside the extremely vast Supreme Buddha realm, battles were breaking out almost everywhere. I don't know how many Saint Buddhas were fighting for the Saint Buddha relics. Among them, there are even Saint Buddhas stronger than Buddha Arhat, who are rampant outside the Supreme Buddha realm, and no one dares to stop them. Buddha monk has the Supreme Seal in his body, so he can directly enter the Supreme Buddha realm. When the 10,000 Buddhas pay homage to the ancestor begins, he can directly offer the Saint Buddha relics and obtain the qualification to continue to stay in the Supreme Buddha realm. Wu Yu thought to himself, but such plain words are not his style at all. Because if he just casually offered a small amount of holy Buddha relics, it would be very difficult to get close to the Supreme Buddha, let alone want to spy on the secrets of the Supreme Buddha. Moreover, the holy Buddha relics can also be swallowed by him to improve himself. Why not wait outside to see if there is a better opportunity? Wu Yu quickly made a decision and planned not to go in first. If he could get more holy Buddha relics, he would have more trump cards. At this moment, around the Supreme Buddha realm, any holy Buddha who carries holy Buddha relics may be targeted by others. Life and death battles are breaking out everywhere. On weekdays, the entire Tianfo immortal realm is like this, but when the 10,000 Buddhas are about to come, all the fights are concentrated near the Supreme Buddha realm. For some holy Buddhas who do not have holy Buddha relics, as long as they can snatch a holy Buddha relic, they can offer it to the Supreme Buddha Xianzang during the 10,000 Buddhas, and get the qualification to practice in the Supreme Buddha realm for 100,000 years. And for some holy Buddhas who have holy Buddha relics, they will not be satisfied either. After all, the holy Buddha relics are also extremely important cultivation resources for them. Whoever has more holy Buddha relics will become stronger and stronger, and vice versa. So now around the Supreme Buddha realm, people are fighting for the holy Buddha relics everywhere. Wu Yu looked around and saw that in the endless starry sky around the Supreme Buddha realm, all the holy Buddhas were killing with bloodshot eyes. Even the weaker holy Buddhas were hiding in the dark looking for opportunities. Once there is a better opportunity, these weaker Saint Buddhas will directly attack and try to snatch the Saint Buddha's relics. Wu Yu has a swallowing cloth bag, in which he hides all the Saint Buddha's relics, so no one is targeting him for the time being. This chapter is not over yet, please click on the next page to continue reading. However, no matter where he goes, the Saint Buddhas who are fighting around him, or waiting for an opportunity, are watching him very vigilantly. Sometimes two Saint Buddhas of the 4th level are fighting for a Saint Buddha's relic together. When Wu Yu passes by in the form of a cloth bag arhat, they will temporarily stop fighting and pay attention to his every move. Because for them, once the cloth bag arhat attacks them, they are definitely not opponents alone. If they continue to fight, they may get nothing, and they must join forces to deal with the cloth bag arhat first. All Saint Buddhas are well versed in the rules of survival in the jungle. When countless Saint Buddhas gather together to fight, only the weak can survive. Hey, that's Namo Qingjing Buddha. Wu Yu was wandering cautiously in the starry sky, and suddenly found a familiar face in front of him. Of course, Wu Yu was not familiar with him, but from the memory of Buddha Luhan, he found that Namo Qingjing Buddha and Buddha Luhan had some relationship in the past, and they could be regarded as long-standing enemies. Every time they met, they would fight a big battle, and almost every time they ended up with both sides seriously injured, and neither could do anything to the other. You should know that Namo Qingjing Buddha is also the 5th level of the Supreme Saint Buddha realm, and has an epic artifact pure Kisapa. Even Buddha Luhan could not kill Namo Qingjing Buddha. At this moment, Namo Qingjing Buddha was using the epic artifact pure Kisapa to roll up a 3rd level Saint Buddha and snatch the Saint Buddha relic in his hand into his own hands. Just when he was about to leave, Namo Qingjing Buddha saw Wu Yu's transformation into Buddha Arhat, and immediately sneered. 10,000 Buddhas are about to come, I am too lazy to tangle with you today. The Namo Qingjing Buddha first sent a series of Buddhist sounds to Wu Yu, and then turned around and wanted to leave. After all, in the eyes of Namo Qingjing Buddha, Buddha Arhat's strength is equal to his. If they fight to the death here, it will definitely be a bargain for other holy Buddhas in the end. It is even possible that when he and Buddha Arhat are both seriously injured, they will be killed by other holy Buddhas. However, since Wu Yu has met him, he will not let this Namo Qingjing Buddha go. Because he found that Namo Qingjing Buddha seemed to have fought with other holy Buddhas before, and his breath was not very stable, and he was obviously injured. Taking this opportunity, he can completely kill this Namo Qingjing Buddha with the identity of Buddha Arhat. You know, this Namo Pure Buddha just killed another holy Buddha without emotion and snatched away his holy Buddha relics. Even if it was for the holy Buddha relics, Wu Yu would not let him go. What's more, In the eyes of other holy Buddhas, Buddha Arhat and Namo Pure Buddha were originally mortal enemies, and it would not be strange to fight now. So when Namo Pure Buddha turned around and wanted to leave, Wu Yu's incarnation Buddha Arhat chased him instead. Although there were no other holy Buddhas nearby, since he wanted to take action, he had to fight quickly. Swallowing heaven bag, swallow it for me. Wu Yu's incarnation Buddha Arhat made a quick decision and released the swallowing heaven bag. Suddenly, a terrifying suction force swept towards Namo Pure Buddha, and his tendency to leave was instantly blocked. How dare you? Namo Pure Buddha was shocked and angry. He never thought that Buddha Arhat would dare to take action directly at this time. His black holy Buddha body was extremely angry, and the huge black Buddha world also turned around at once, and the magnificent momentum instantly enveloped it, as if the sky was turning over. Unfortunately, this Namo Pure Buddha was injured recently. Although it was still easy to deal with the third-level holy Buddha, he was completely helpless when he met Wu Yu. Holy Buddha Dharma, Black Buddha Bone Erosion. Wu Yu directly used the Holy Buddha Dharma of the Bag Arhat. With the swallowing heaven bag taking the initiative, the opponent's pure and quiet Kazaya could not play any effect. The epic artifacts of both sides were equivalent to restraining each other, and no one could do anything to anyone for a while. However, Wu Yu took the initiative and took a great advantage. As the black light of the Black Buddha Bone Erosion burned on his huge Buddha world, he went straight to suppress the opponent's Buddha world. Before the opponent's Buddhist world could completely turn around, it was shattered by the impact of the Buddhist world of the cloth bag Arhat transformed by Wu Yu, especially the attached Black Buddha corrosion bone, which directly corroded the opponent's Buddhist world at a rapid speed. Heaven Swallowing Record. Author, Feng Qing Yang. Chapter 1744. Namo Pure Buddha never expected that Wu Yu would take the initiative. Buddha Arhat, are you really looking for death? Do you think that this Buddha is no longer your opponent after being seriously injured? Come and die. He snorted coldly, and the face of the black holy Buddha's true body was full of cruelty and ferocity. When Wu Yu performed the holy Buddhist method of Black Buddha's bone erosion, causing the terrifying black light to corrode into his Buddha realm, the aura of Namo Pure Buddha suddenly became more violent, and the entire huge Buddha realm unexpectedly changed. Got a bigger score. Holy Buddha's magical power, the awe-inspiring Buddha world. When Namo Pure Buddha displayed this magical power of the Holy Buddha, his Buddha realm expanded rapidly and became more than twice as big as it was at the beginning. At this time, his Buddha realm's suppression power was almost twice as strong as before. On top of this giant Buddha realm, the Buddha Arhat Buddha realm incarnated by Wu Yu was just like a child. It was about to be completely destroyed by the opponent's Buddha realm. Suppressed. Swallow the sky bag, swallow it for me. Wu Yu was not afraid, and the sky-swallowing cloth bag regained its luster in his hands, and suddenly twice as much devouring power was violently released from the sky-swallowing cloth bag. The Buddha realm that Namo Pure Buddha had enlarged was suddenly sucked in by the huge devouring power. He wanted to suppress Wu Yu's Buddha realm, but he couldn't do it no matter what. On the contrary, the brilliance of Wu Yu's Black Buddha corroding bones is still corroding the huge Buddha world of Namo Pure Buddha. Although the Buddha realm became huge and its power doubled, the Tian Buddha was so powerful that it immediately suppressed the opponent. If it were normal times, Namo Pure Buddha could really resist, but now, Namo Pure Buddha was seriously injured and could only use 70% of his usual strength. This caused him to confront Wu Yu, and he was no match for him at all. Although the power of the Heian Buddha realm to enhance the Buddha realm is quite powerful, its entire Buddha realm is absorbed by the sky-swallowing bag and poses no threat to Wu Yu at all. The Great Buddha Mudra. According to Wu Yu's memory of Bag-I Arhat, the giant Buddha world immediately waved its big hand. The next moment, a giant Buddha's handprint condensed from the void, appeared, and went straight towards Namo Pure Buddha to suppress it. The terrifying huge handprints directly suppressed the Buddhist world of Namo Pure Buddha. Immediately afterwards, I heard Namo Pure Buddha's piercing scream, "This Buddha will not let you feel better even if he dies." The next moment, I saw Namo Pure Buddha's already enlarged Buddha realm suddenly swelled, and the terrifying power of the Buddha realm was brewing in the void. The magical power of the Holy Buddha, the Buddhist world is completely lost. Namo Pure Buddha has been completely suppressed, but he is still able to control the power in his vast Buddhist world. At the next moment, his remaining Buddhist power completely exploded in the void. This is equivalent to a kind of magical power that explodes the Buddhist world, but it is rare even in the Tianfo immortal realm. Very few holy Buddhas can display this kind of holy Buddha magical power. After all, once the Buddhist world is lost, their own lives will completely disappear. In this heavenly Buddha realm, although the holy Buddhas compete for precious resources such as holy Buddha relics without risking their lives, they care more about their own lives than anyone else. Value. In the celestial realm, there are still many gods who regard certain things as more important than their lives, such as family, friendship, and love. Occasionally, these beautiful things can still be seen in the celestial palace. But in the Tianfo immortal realm, it is impossible to exist. Therefore, the magical power of self-destruction in the Buddhist world is really rarely seen, that is, it is only displayed when you are completely desperate, expecting to die together with your opponent. Wu Yu also didn't expect that Namo Pure Buddha would choose to blow up the Buddhist world. Swallow the sky bag. Wu Yu could only rely on the sky-swallowing cloth bag. The terrifying black vortex instantly condensed into a devouring force and engulfed the place where the awe-inspiring Buddhist world collapsed. Even though the vast Buddhist world erupted with unimaginable power, the sky-swallowing bag swallowed up a large part of the power in time. The only small part that remained caused damage to Wu Yu's Buddha Arhat Buddha realm, but it actually had no impact. After all, it was not his true body. Even if the Buddha Arhat Buddhist world is completely destroyed, nothing big will happen to him. On the other hand, the opponent's epical artifact, the quiet Kazaya, was thrown away by the terrifying force after its mighty Buddhist world erupted, and disappeared from the void in a short while. The main reason is that there are too many holy Buddhas nearby. Once a treasure like the Jingjing cassock flies into the void, it will be picked up by others in an instant. How can you wait for Wu Yu to catch up and collect it? Even the power that erupted from the Buddhist world on Wu Yu's side was so strong that he didn't even notice which way Jingjing Kazaya was flying. That's all, it's just an era artifact. This sky-swallowing cloth bag is enough. Wu Yu was not too greedy. He felt that the Buddha Arhat's Buddhist world had been damaged. Although it was not big, it also reduced his strength when walking as an Arhat. It seems that we are planning to change into the appearance of the long-eyebrowed Arhat Holy Buddha. Of course, there is no need for him to change just yet. He directly released the sky-swallowing cloth bag, put all the Buddhist corpses of Namo Pure Buddha into it, and hid them. Although the vast Buddhist world of Namo Pure Buddha has been annihilated, there are still many ruins. To Wu Yu, these ruins have the same meaning as the entire Buddhist world. Anyway, they are all swallowed up directly, regardless of whether they are complete or incomplete. Doesn't matter. Due to the divine power of the Buddha realm was annihilated, and many Buddhas around noticed this place. So Wu Yu did not dare to stay there for long, and directly took away the 2 Buddha relics that the Buddha originally had, hid them in the imperial realm, and turned around and ran away. When the Buddha finally came around, Wu Yu had already disappeared. Recently, there were battles between Buddhas and saints everywhere around the Supreme Buddha realm, causing chaos everywhere. Wu Yu went to a place at random, and other Buddhas found it difficult to find him. Then, Wu Yu began to look for opportunities outside the Supreme Buddha realm. He was not satisfied with the current Buddha relics. If he could have more, it would be better. After all, this thing was also very useful for his cultivation. Too chaotic. The 10,000 Buddhas pay homage to their ancestors once every 100,000 years, and I'm afraid that every time is the moment when the most holy Buddhas die in the Tianfo immortal realm. Wu Yu kept wandering in the surrounding starry sky, and never stayed in the same place. He soon saw that one after another holy Buddhas were shattered by the Buddhist world and died completely. There are a total of hundreds of thousands of holy Buddhas in the entire Tianfo immortal realm. Wu Yu originally thought that the number was large, but at the current death rate, holy Buddhas are dying every moment. And now is not the most intense stage of the fight between the holy Buddhas. From the memories of the Buddhas of Buddha Arhat and Chinmay Arhat, we know that the most intense fight between these holy Buddhas is in the next stage, that is, after offering the holy Buddha relics. Wu Yu can rely on the supreme seal of Buddha Arhat to directly enter the supreme Buddha realm. But every time the 10,000 Buddhas pay homage to their ancestors, there are always some holy Buddhas who cannot get the holy Buddha relics, and thus cannot meet the requirements, and are expelled by the supreme Buddha Xuanzang. Next, it was the most intense moment of the fight. As long as the holy Buddha offered the holy Buddha's relics, they could compete for the opportunity to enter the supreme Buddha realm. This kind of competition was extremely cruel, because the number of places was really limited. Only by defeating many other holy Buddhas at the moment when Xuanzang opened the supreme Buddha realm could one be qualified to squeeze into the supreme Buddha realm. By then, the number of holy Buddhas who would die would be more than double than now. During the entire process of the 10,000 Buddhas paying homage to the ancestor, there were probably tens of thousands of holy Buddhas who died. The number of holy Buddhas in the Tianfo immortal realm could be kept balanced because the situation would basically stabilize after the 10,000 Buddhas paying homage to the ancestor. A large number of holy Buddhas would stay in the supreme Buddha realm to survive and would not leave. The number of holy Buddhas wandering in the endless starry sky of the Tianfo immortal realm would be much less. Once the holy Buddha's relics appeared, there was a certain possibility that new holy Buddhas would be born. The opportunity has come. Wu Yu wandered in the starry sky, basically circling the edge of the supreme Buddha realm and would not leave too far. This time, he saw several holy Buddhas nearby fighting for a holy Buddha relic, and he had been hiding in the dark and observing for a long time. Just when the holy Buddhas were fighting the most fiercely, Wu Yu rushed over at the fastest speed and directly used the heaven-swallowing cloth bag to suck the holy Buddha relic over. Those holy Buddhas didn't expect that a cloth bag arhat would suddenly appear, and they didn't react at all. It wasn't until Wu Yu had fled far away with the holy Buddha relic that they remembered to chase him, but how could they catch up with Wu Yu? But in a moment, Wu Yu completely disappeared. At this moment, outside the supreme Buddha realm, Wu Yu didn't dare to mess around. Since there was a holy Buddha like Namo Qingjing Buddha who was about the same strength as the cloth bag arhat, there must be some holy Buddhas who were stronger than the cloth bag arhat. Facing those holy Buddhas, Wu Yu could only take a detour from a distance to avoid being targeted by the other party. Instead, he was robbed by the other party, which would be a loss. For example, there is a pair of holy Buddhas named Namo Jingjianjun Buddha and Namo Jingjianexai Buddha. They are two 5th level supreme holy Buddhas. They are very rare holy Buddhas who always work together. Other holy Buddhas, even those at the level of Buddha Arhat, dare not easily provoke these two holy Buddhas. Once they join hands, ordinary holy Buddhas cannot resist them at all. Even if the holy Buddhas at the level of Buddha Arhat provoke these two, they will definitely die. However, when Wu Yu passed by these two holy Buddhas again, he found that they were caught in a bitter battle. In the void ahead, there were more than a dozen holy Buddhas fighting in chaos, just to compete for a total of 4 holy Buddha relics. The battle made many holy Buddhas around stay away, because once they were involved, the weak holy Buddhas would be killed almost instantly. Even when Wu Yu approached as Buddha Arhat, he watched from a distance and did not dare to get too close, for fear that he would be involved and die without a burial place. However, Wu Yu did not leave, but hid secretly in the void nearby, intending to see if he had any chance in this melee. If he could take advantage of the situation and get some Buddhist corpses, or snatch the holy Buddha's relics, it would be quite good for him. Heaven-swallowing record. Author, Feng Qing Yang. Chapter 1745. Chapter 1739 Golden Buddha Realm. I hope readers will remember our domain name Taiwan Novel Network rightward arrow. A melee broke out in front of Wu Yu. In the void, the two holy Buddhas, Namo Jingjin Buddha and Namo Jingjin Xi Buddha, joined forces and fought fiercely with other holy Buddhas to compete for the four holy Buddha relics. Other holy Buddhas are competitors to each other, all fighting on their own. Even if there are temporary alliances, it is absolutely impossible to confide in each other. Unlike Namo Jingjin Buddha and Namo Jingjin Xi Buddha, these two holy Buddhas have been together for a long time, and the relationship between the two sides is very good. It can even be said that they are one. So far, they have joined forces to kill countless holy Buddhas. In the entire Tianfo immortal realm, even those at the level of Buddha Luhan are not as fierce as these two holy Buddhas. Even the Buddhas Buddha Arhat and Chinmay Arhat would take a detour when they saw them on weekdays, and they didn't dare to conflict with them at all. At this moment, although there was a melee in front of Wu Yu, it was obvious that these two Buddhas had the greatest advantage. Namo Jingjin Buddha and Namo Jingjin Xi Buddha joined together, attacking and defending at the same time, and had an unparalleled advantage in the melee. Even if other Buddhas attacked them together, they could deal with it calmly and with ease. In that fierce battle, the Buddha world of the Buddhas was constantly suppressed and completely crushed. With the successive deaths of the Buddhas, the number of Buddha relics in the field became more and more. Originally there were only 4 Buddha relics, but not long after, there were already 8 Buddha relics in the starry sky, emitting a strong temptation. Unfortunately, the battle had already reached a white-hot stage. There were already several Buddhas who died, and ordinary Buddhas didn't dare to step forward to participate. Namo Jingjin Buddha and Namo Jingjin Xi Buddha, the black true bodies of these two holy Buddhas always have a treacherous smile on their faces. When they join forces, no Buddha can stop them. In the whole field, the two holy Buddhas crushed the most holy Buddha world. As the number of holy Buddha relics in the field has increased to 10, the other holy Buddhas finally realized that if they did not get rid of these two holy Buddhas first, the other holy Buddhas would definitely be killed by them in the end. Finally, the power of the Buddha world in the field became more terrifying and shocking. Several holy Buddhas were left with injuries and confronted Namo Jingjin Buddha and Namo Jingjin Xi Buddha head-on. It's a pity that they realized it a little too late. At this moment, the two holy Buddhas with treacherous smiles were even more diligent and brave, not to mention that the other holy Buddhas were injured. Almost at the same time, they began to burn the mortal beings in the Buddha world, and countless lives were swallowed into their Buddha world, completely integrated into it, and enhanced their endless Buddha world power. The terrifying power suddenly erupted at this time. Namo Jingjin Buddha, Namo Jingjin Xi Buddha, the combined power of these two holy Buddhas directly defeated several of the other party's holy Buddhas. After all, the other party was in a bad state. Not only had the power of the Buddha world been consumed by more than half, but they were also injured. As the holy Buddhas died one by one in the hands of the two Buddhas with a treacherous smile, Wu Yu was a little shocked. He didn't expect that these two holy Buddhas would have such amazing power when they joined forces. However, at this time, the two holy Buddhas finally won, and their own power was also consumed by more than half. While the other party was dealing with the last 3 holy Buddhas, Wu Yu finally decided to take action at this time. In the starry sky ahead where the battle was fierce, one after another Buddha world remains were floating, and there were even 12 holy Buddha relics. Once they were captured, it would be a huge harvest. Swallowing Heaven Bag. Wu Yu rushed forward without hesitation and released the Swallowing Heaven Bag directly, swallowing all the holy Buddha world remains on the ground. And when approaching the remains, he took away all the holy Buddha relics. The holy Buddhas who were fighting fiercely before had no time to take away these holy Buddha relics, because once they got the holy Buddha relics, they would become the targets of joint attack by all other holy Buddhas. But now, Wu Yu was hiding on the side, and now he suddenly took action, and no one could have expected it. So what if they saw him? The only ones still fighting fiercely now were Namojing Jinjun Buddha and Namojing Jinexai Buddha, plus the other three seriously injured holy Buddhas, who did not pose much threat to Wu Yu at all. Go! Wu Yu succeeded in an instant, and then turned around and ran without thinking. Buddha Arhat. Namojing Jinjun Buddha and Namojing Jinexai Buddha, the two holy Buddhas had evil smiles on their faces, staring at Wu Yu's leaving figure, but did not chase him. They continued to attack one after another, killing the remaining three seriously injured holy Buddhas one after another, and shattered their Buddhist worlds. The ground was full of shattered Buddha worlds, but the two holy Buddhas seemed to have not seen them, and soon left the field together, leaving in the direction that Wu Yu fled. This time, Wu Yu had a great harvest. He got more than a dozen Buddha world remains and 12 holy Buddha relics at one time, which was a huge fortune. He planned to keep a low profile for a while, so after escaping far away, he directly transformed into the appearance of the long-browed Arhat Buddha, pretending to be completely unaware of the fierce battle just now. Sure enough. Not long after, the Namojing Jinjun Buddha and the Namojing Jinexai Buddha flew through the starry sky not far away, as if they were looking for someone everywhere. They also saw Wu Yu, but ignored him at all. After all, Wu Yu is no longer the Buddha Arhat, but the long-browed Arhat Saint Buddha. The Saint Buddhas in the Tianfo immortal realm seem to be even crazier. This chapter is not over yet, please click on the next page to continue reading. Wu Yu was awed. He felt that the Namojing Jinjun Buddha and the Namojing Jinexai Buddha were unpredictable in their emotions, and their methods were cruel and bloodthirsty. The expressions of the Saint Buddha's true bodies were also very strange, which made people shiver when they saw them. If he fell into their hands, with Wu Yu's current strength, it would be impossible for him to escape, and he would definitely be tortured to death. Next, Wu Yu basically avoided the two Saint Buddhas, moving away in the opposite direction, continuing to hide in other places, and performing the mantis catching the cicada in various places where the Saint Buddha's relics were fought. Wu Yu's speed was really too fast. Sometimes, there were even yellow birds behind him, who wanted to take advantage of him to snatch the Saint Buddha's relics and then attack him. As a result, Wu Yu took the Saint Buddha's relics and ran away, not giving the other party a chance to intercept. He was extremely fast, ruthless and accurate. When the 10,000 Buddhas worship was about to begin, he had already seized more than 50 Buddha remains and more than 30 holy Buddha relics with the heaven-swallowing bag. Once he saw a dangerous person appearing nearby, Wu Yu would appear in the image of the long-eyebrowed Arhat. On weekdays, it was more convenient to use the image of the bag Arhat. After all, the heaven-swallowing bag belonged to the bag Arhat. When he was in the image of the long-eyebrowed Arhat, it would be more troublesome to seize the Buddha remains and holy Buddha relics. The 10,000 Buddhas worship will begin in a few years, so you can consider entering the Supreme Buddha realm first. After Wu Yu seized so many holy Buddha relics and Buddha remains, he still planned to stop in time. Because he found that the competition outside the Supreme Buddha realm was getting more and more fierce, and it was getting harder and harder for him to take action. Compared to the beginning, the risk was much higher, but the possible gains were less, so there was no need to continue taking risks. So he decided to step into the Supreme Buddha realm with the Supreme Mark in the bag Arhat's body. This is a starry sky area full of golden Buddha energy. Wu Yu was a little surprised when he first stepped into this area. He found that these so-called Buddha energy were basically the same as the immortal spirit energy in the Tiangong immortal realm. When the 10,000 Buddhas pay homage to the ancestor begins, the Supreme Buddha will appear. I don't know what kind of existence Xuanzang is. Wu Yu thought to himself, observing the environment in the Supreme Buddha realm. This is a large area. Some holy Buddhas are scattered in the starry sky full of golden Buddha energy. He even saw Namojing Jinjun Buddha and Namojing Jinexai Buddha from afar, but in this Supreme Buddha realm, the other party did not dare to attack him casually. To be on the safe side, he found the other arhats of the 18 arhats under Xuanzang's seat in the identity of Buddha Arhat. These arhats have now gathered in the Supreme Buddha realm. They are all the confidants of the Supreme Buddha Xuanzang, responsible for maintaining order when the 10,000 Buddhas pay homage to the ancestor. In the Supreme Buddha realm, basically no one dares to attack them. After all the holy Buddhas have the same attitude towards the Supreme Buddha, crazy worship and extreme awe. The arhats gathered together and talked about some things. Wu Yu transformed into the image of the cloth bag arhat and had the memory of the cloth bag arhat, so he could naturally chat with them. However, these arhats soon discovered that there was one arhat missing among them. Why didn't Chinmay come? I heard that Chinmay was still robbing the holy Buddha relics outside the Supreme Buddha realm a few days ago. Could it be that he hasn't got the holy Buddha relics yet and has no face to enter the Supreme Buddha realm? Haha. The holy Buddhas talked about Chinmay Arhat and Sheng Buddha with some contempt and ridicule. After all, he is also a fifth level of the Supreme Saint Buddha realm, but he hasn't got the holy Buddha relics yet. He is really too weak. Of course, Wu Yu would not say that Chinmay Arhat Sheng Buddha is dead. After all, this is his other identity, which may be useful in the future. In the Supreme Buddha realm, the number of holy Buddhas entering is increasing. Basically, every holy Buddha who enters will have at least one holy Buddha relic. Otherwise, there is no need to come in at all, because they will be expelled sooner or later anyway. As the number of holy Buddhas in the Supreme Buddha realm increases, a total of tens of thousands of top holy Buddhas gather outside the core of the Supreme Buddha realm, ready to wait for the arrival of the Supreme Buddha Xuanzang. The real core of the Supreme Buddha realm is Xuanzang's own territory, and no one dares to enter. The holy Buddhas who come to participate in the 10,000 Buddhas can only wait anxiously and nervously outside the core of the Supreme Buddha realm. Finally, the last moment has arrived. In the sight of all the holy Buddhas, golden light is released from the core of the Supreme Buddha realm, followed by 9 huge golden Buddha realms, blooming with golden light. At 12 o'clock the day after tomorrow, that is, 12 o'clock on Sunday night, which is also 0 o'clock on Monday morning, the madman will send a 1000 yuan red envelope on the public account Feng Qingyang, divided into 500, and everyone will have a share. Last time, it was sold out in 2 minutes. Everyone quickly open WeChat, click Add Friends, search for the public account Feng Qingyang, follow it, and wait for the day after tomorrow night. 1 chapter today, 3 chapters tomorrow. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Heaven Swallowing Record. Author, Feng Qingyang. Chapter 1746. In the Supreme Buddha realm, all the nearly 10,000 holy Buddhas gathered, all cast their eyes on the 9 huge golden Buddha realms. In the eyes of the holy Buddhas, there was full of worship, desire, and madness. For them, the Supreme Buddha was the strongest existence, and everything in this Tianfo immortal realm belonged to the Supreme Buddha. Wu Yu also stared at the 9 huge golden Buddha realms, slowly coming out of the golden light. Each golden Buddha realm was a giant Buddha standing tall. These 9 huge Buddha realms all had different expressions, demeanors, and movements, but each golden giant Buddha was the same asterisk, solemn, and possessed a shocking Buddhist aura that made people want to worship properly. When the 9 golden Buddha realms appeared, it meant that the 10,000 Buddhas worshipping the ancestor had finally begun. All the holy Buddhas became solemn. For them, this 10,000 Buddhas worshipping the ancestor was the most sacred moment. Every 100,000 years, they could only see the Supreme Buddha at this time. Even the 18 arhats under Xuanzang were the same, without any privileges. The only difference from other holy Buddhas was that they were the maintainers of order in the Supreme Buddha realm, and were appointed by the Supreme Buddha. No one could shake their status. Even the holy Buddhas with higher realms than Buddha Arhat and Chinmay Arhat must be cautious in treating the 18 Arhats in the Supreme Buddha realm. As the 9 huge golden Buddha realms slowly emerged from the golden light, the entire Supreme Buddha realm was filled with a solemn atmosphere. Then, the Supreme Buddha's true body, which countless holy Buddhas had been looking forward to, appeared. It was a young monk wearing a white cassock and with skin as white jade. He followed the 9 golden Buddha realms and appeared in the golden light. In the golden light of the Supreme Buddha realm, the black Buddha realms and true bodies of other holy Buddhas seemed inconspicuous at all, and even looked a bit like some black spots corroded in a golden field, which looked very strange. Countless holy Buddhas became solemn the moment Xuanzang appeared, putting away their usual violence and cruelty, not daring to show any disrespect to the Supreme Buddha. All the holy Buddhas performed Buddhist rituals at this moment, noble and noble. Under the bathing of golden light, the spirits of tens of thousands of holy Buddhas seemed to be sublimated. This is the strongest Supreme Buddha in the entire Tianfo immortal realm. Wu Yu could feel that it was difficult to see through the strength of the young monk Xuanzang who appeared from the golden light. This was because the gap was too big, just like Wu Yu looking at the Jade Emperor, Bodhi Patriarch, and others, he could not see their true strength. Unlike some other holy Buddhas, even if their strength was stronger than Wu Yu, he could clearly know what realm the other party was in. After the monk Xuanzang appeared from the golden light, he said nothing. He had a blank expression on his face, and it was impossible to tell what he was thinking from his expression. After all the holy Buddhas on the spot had finished their Buddhist rituals, he said lightly, "Give me the holy Buddha's relics." This is the rule of the 10,000 Buddhas paying homage to the ancestor. Every 100,000 years, 10,000 holy Buddha's relics are collected by the Supreme Buddha. Compared to other holy Buddhas, the Supreme Buddha's method of collecting holy Buddha's relics is simply easy, because when the 10,000 Buddhas pay homage to the ancestor, no holy Buddha dares not to hand over the holy Buddha's relics. There are even many holy Buddhas who rush to hand over the holy Buddha's relics, just to stay in the Supreme Buddha realm for 100,000 years. These 100,000 years are completely safe, and they can practice through the golden Buddha Chi in the Supreme Buddha realm, and even have the opportunity to break through and become stronger. So there are too many holy Buddhas who need to get such an opportunity, at least they don't need to worry outside. Although it is easy for the Supreme Buddha to collect the holy Buddha's relics, no holy Buddha dares to say anything about it, but instead thinks it is natural. All this is because the other party is the Supreme Buddha, the most powerful existence in the entire Tianfo immortal realm. No holy Buddha dares to disrespect the Supreme Buddha. This is Xuanzang. The entire Tianfo immortal realm has now become Xuanzang's world. As for other holy Buddhas, in Wu Yu's view, they are even a bit like tools for Xuanzang to collect holy Buddha relics. Of course, now only Wu Yu dares to think so. Other holy Buddhas regard Xuanzang as the Supreme Buddha, which is equivalent to the absolute ruler of Tianfo immortal realm. So, with Xuanzang's simple words, the holy Buddhas gathered in the entire Supreme Buddha realm handed over the holy Buddha relics one after another. Wu Yu did not dare to show the difference with other holy Buddhas now, so he also handed over a holy Buddha relic directly. He quietly took out a holy Buddha relic from the imperial realm, pretending to take it out from the cloth bag Arhat Buddha realm, and sent the holy Buddha relic to the center of the Supreme Buddha realm. Nearly 10,000 holy Buddha relics were sent out by the surrounding holy Buddhas one after another, and then these holy Buddha relics were swallowed up by the 9 huge golden Buddha realms one after another when they flew halfway. Seeing the 9 huge golden Buddha realms, the huge Buddha statues with different expressions kept opening their mouths and swallowing all the holy Buddha relics. Wu Yu felt an indescribable weirdness and strangeness. This Supreme Buddha, Xuanzang, definitely had something wrong in Wu Yu's eyes, but Wu Yu couldn't see it at all now. He didn't even dare to show his gaze on Xuanzang, otherwise he might be discovered by the other party. After all, Xuanzang now looked unfathomable, and no one knew what kind of ability he had. So Wu Yu was very low-key throughout the whole scene, acting as a cloth bag Arhat, and did not cause any trouble for a while. This chapter is not over yet, please click on the next page to continue reading the exciting content. In the entire Supreme Buddha realm, a total of more than 9,000 holy Buddhas have given away holy Buddha relics. Many holy Buddhas who once had the Supreme Seal knew the benefits of staying in the Supreme Buddha realm, so they basically tried their best to snatch the holy Buddha relics, at least get one holy Buddha relic, to continue their qualifications to stay in the Supreme Buddha realm. However, there are still hundreds of holy Buddhas who were unable to hand over the holy Buddha relics after all. These hundreds of holy Buddhas had no choice but to be expelled. Of course, some holy Buddhas who were unable to snatch the holy Buddha relics had basically left before the 10,000 Buddhas paid homage to the emperor. Otherwise, if the Supreme Buddha personally expelled them, their fate would probably be extremely miserable. The Supreme Buddha realm is open, and there are 381 people who can bring the holy Buddha relics into it. When more than 9,000 holy Buddha relics in the venue were swallowed up by the 9 golden Buddha realms, the Supreme Buddha Xuanzang finally announced again with a blank expression. With his words without any emotion, the entire golden Supreme Buddha realm was finally opened. The countless holy Buddhas who originally stayed outside the Supreme Buddha realm were desperately trying to squeeze into the Supreme Buddha realm at this moment. Just outside the Supreme Buddha realm, an extremely tragic fight broke out. In order to compete for the opportunity to enter the Supreme Buddha realm, countless holy Buddhas used all means, even at the risk of death. Although in a short period of time, 381 holy Buddhas had entered the Supreme Buddha realm, making the Supreme Buddha realm closed again. But in this short period of time, the number of holy Buddhas who died outside the Supreme Buddha realm reached hundreds, and various broken Buddha realms and collapsed worlds drifted out in the endless starry sky, forming a pile of debris. Under fierce competition, only 381 holy Buddhas have the opportunity to stay in the Supreme Buddha realm. These holy Buddhas are either strong or lucky, but they have one thing in common, that is, they are all fast, otherwise it is impossible to squeeze into the Supreme Buddha realm in an instant. Another 381 holy Buddha relics were swallowed by the 9 golden Buddha realms. After swallowing so many holy Buddha relics, Wu Yu could hardly feel the changes in the 9 golden Buddha realms, and only faintly felt that the aura of the 9 Buddha realms seemed to be heavier. For millions of years, if it has always been like this, the 9 Buddha realms have swallowed at least 100,000 holy Buddha relics in total. I don't know what level it has reached now. I'm afraid that each Buddha realm has the power to surpass everything. Wu Yu thought in his heart, watching the golden Buddha realm swallowing the holy Buddha relics, and his heart was extremely shocked. Now Wu Yu basically only needs to swallow a small amount of holy Buddha relics to be promoted to the next level. Xuanzang has devoured at least 100,000 holy Buddha relics. What realm can he reach now? Wu Yu simply cannot imagine it. The entire process of the 10,000 Buddhas paying homage to the ancestor is basically the process of the Supreme Buddha Xuanzang collecting the holy Buddha relics. At this time, 10,000 holy Buddhas have occupied the quota of the entire Supreme Buddha realm. Those who cannot squeeze in can only wait for the next opportunity. When the 9 golden Buddha realms devoured all the holy Buddha relics offered by all the holy Buddhas, it stands to reason that the 10,000 Buddhas paying homage to the ancestor should be over. Whether it is the memory of the long-browed Arhat holy Buddha or the memory from the bag Arhat, the 10,000 Buddhas paying homage to the ancestor is basically such a process. Next, the Supreme Buddha Xuanzang will disappear in the golden light, and the 9 golden Buddha realms will also retreat, and will not appear again until 100,000 years later. However, this time, it seems to be a little different from before. Just when all the saints and Buddhas thought that the Supreme Buddha Xuanzang was about to leave, the young monk suddenly searched the crowd with his eyes. And his heavy Buddhist voice spread throughout the entire Supreme Buddha realm, Wukong, I see you. This Buddhist voice spread throughout the entire Supreme Buddha realm, shocking all the saints and Buddhas in the audience. At this time, the Supreme Buddha actually exuded an extremely terrifying aura. which seemed to be able to suppress all the existence of all things in the world. Who is Wukong? Including Wu Yu, all the saints and Buddhas in the Supreme Buddha realm were confused. They didn't know who the Wukong Xianzang was talking about was. Could it be that there is a Saint Buddha named Wukong in the Supreme Buddha realm? No one knows the truth. However, the atmosphere in the entire Supreme Buddha realm suddenly became extremely depressing. The aura from Xianzang had an indescribable sense of terror, which made all the saints and Buddhas tremble. Heaven-swallowing record. Author, Feng Qing Yang. Chapter 1747. Wu Yu racked his brains, thinking about the memories of the long-browed Arhat and the bag Arhat. In the end, he found that there was no trace of this Wukong in their memories, and Xianzang had never behaved abnormally after the 10,000 Buddhas Pao Zone ended. Xianzang had always been a man of few words during the 10,000 Buddhas Pao Zone, but this time, he actually added such a sentence after the end. Countless saints and Buddhas in the field all lowered their heads and trembled. They had never felt that the Supreme Buddha actually had such power. Even though the saints and Buddhas knew that the Supreme Buddha was the strongest among the saints and Buddhas, Xianzang had never shown such a power to suppress everything in front of them. Even Wu Yu felt that the Supreme Buddha was terrifying. After thinking about it, he always felt that the other party was talking about him, because the only difference between this 10,000 Buddhas Pao Zone and the previous one was that there was an emperor immortal like him mixed in. Could it be that Xianzang saw through his identity as the emperor immortal? And that Wukong, it must sound like a name, could it be referring to him? However, Wu Yu was sure that he had never heard of the name Wukong. He and the other saints lowered their heads, not daring to look directly at Xianzang. The other party's power was too terrifying, and he was afraid that it would attract the other party's attention and lead to some irreversible consequences. After the young monk Xianzang finished speaking in the golden light, he did not make any follow-up moves. He seemed to be observing the bottom, trying to find out where the Wukong he mentioned was. However, it seemed that he could not find the exact location. Wu Yu secretly watched it, thinking in his heart that maybe he had transformed into a cloth bag Arhat, and the other party did not recognize him. But who is this Wukong? Wu Yu was very depressed, and of course he could not find anyone to ask for any answers now. In the entire Tianfo immortal realm, no holy Buddha can be trusted. Even in the Tiangong immortal realm, all the emperors have lost their previous memories, which is related to the great changes a million years ago. Bodhi Patriarch, Tei Genren, Wu Yu dare not trust these emperors. It is extremely difficult to get the answers to some questions. It seems that there is no movement after waiting for a while, and Xianzang can't find the target, so he continues to say expressionlessly, "I'll wait for you inside. When you figure it out, come in and see me." Wu Yu feels that he seems to have guessed right. If the Wukong mentioned by the other party is really him, he must have only felt his breath, but didn't know his specific location, and didn't know that he had transformed into a cloth bag Arhat. As Xianzang finished the sentence, he turned and disappeared in the golden light. The 9 great Buddha realms also slowly retreated, and the terrifying power of the whole scene finally gradually dissipated. Wu Yu was relieved, but he felt that his whole body was tense and stiff. After Xianzang left, he even had difficulty moving. The opponent's momentum was really terrible. He had never felt such power from others. When he was in the heavenly palace, he could only face powerful emperors, that is, the level of Erlang Zhenshen. When we were in Shenkishan, Erlang Shenyang Jian imprisoned us with the eye of imprisonment. Even the power at that time was far from comparable to that of Xianzang. Wu Yu was shocked. As for Bodhi Patriarch and Tei Genren, although they were said to be top emperors, they never had any emotional fluctuations in front of Wu Yu, so Wu Yu didn't know what would happen if they got angry. The 10,000 Buddhas worshipping the ancestor ended. Although the last words of the Supreme Buddha were a bit inexplicable, the other holy Buddhas did not dare to talk about it. the holy Buddhas who were qualified to stay in the Supreme Buddha realm found a place to rest and practice. The other saints and Buddhas who were outside the Supreme Buddha realm and were not qualified to enter it quickly left this place one by one. After all, there were too many saints and Buddhas outside the Supreme Buddha realm. If they continued to stay here, they might cause disasters of killing. The saints and Buddhas who failed to get the qualification to enter the Supreme Buddha realm had to leave far away and try to find the saints and Buddhas' relics in the endless starry sky. They continued to face the days of uncertainty and might fight to the death with other saints and Buddhas at any time. Although Wu Yu had the qualification to stay in the Supreme Buddha realm, he did not dare to stay here for long after Xuanzang's inexplicable words. And according to the time, it had been more than 8,000 years since he came to the heavenly Buddha immortal realm again. Luo Bin and the others should be coming out of the heavenly demon battlefield soon, right? Wu Yu left the vicinity of the Supreme Buddha realm quickly with vigilance. He did not even dare to transform into his original body and use the means of instantaneous breath. He only dared to walk to the far end of the starry sky as a cloth bag arhat. It was not until he had traveled in the starry sky for thousands of years and was basically sure that the perception of the Supreme Buddha Xianzang could not extend so far that he finally dared to take out the Ruyi Jinggu Bang and open the fourth magical power Fairyland Bridge. Fortunately, when the Fairyland Bridge was opened, no strong aura descended. Wu Yu did not dare to stay for long, and directly passed through the Fairyland Bridge and returned to the Heavenly Palace Fairyland. The golden vortex disappeared quickly after Wu Yu passed through it, as if it had never appeared. Wu Yu, who returned to the Tiangong immortal realm, was completely relieved when he saw the golden vortex connecting the two immortal realms disappear. He was really afraid that he would be discovered by the Supreme Buddha when he was traveling between the two immortal realms. If the other party chased him, he couldn't imagine what would happen. This chapter is not over yet. Please click on the next page to continue reading. Let's go back to Fangkuntian first. Wu Yu sorted out his mood and decided to go back to Fangkuntian first to wait for Luo Bin and others to come out of the heavenly demon battlefield. He was actually a little worried about Luo Bin, Nanshan Wanjiao, and Yezixi entering the heavenly demon battlefield. After all, he had experienced the horror of the heavenly demon battlefield and knew how much pain he would endure if he stayed there for 10,000 years. If there was a choice, he would rather not let Luo Bin and others endure such pain, but he also knew that the situation he was facing was getting more and more serious. It is very likely that the situation will suddenly change at that time, and he alone will not be able to deal with it. In the entire Tiangong immortal realm, it can be said that only the three of them are the ones that Wu Yu absolutely trusts and can help him. No matter how strong other Emperor Immortals are, Wu Yu dare not trust them. And the realm strength of other people that Wu Yu can trust cannot keep up for the time being, which is also unavoidable. I hope they are all fine and can come out safely from the Tianmo battlefield. Wu Yu must have quietly returned to Fangkuntian. Because he didn't know the situation of Tai Genren, if he was encountered by the other party, it would be too troublesome. Once the other party got angry, Wu Yu would definitely not be able to stop him, and even Bodhi Patriarch had no reason to stop Tai Genren. After all, giving the Ruyi Jinggu Bang in exchange to Tai Genren was an agreement that both parties had agreed to long ago. If it wasn't too helpless, Wu Yu wouldn't want to break the contract, especially with a top emperor immortal like Tai Genren. But now the Ruyi Jinggu Bang can connect the two immortal realms, he can't give it up. If he wants to find out the secrets hidden behind the two immortal realms, he must rely on this Ruyi Jinggu Bang. When he secretly returned to the Bodhi Hall, the Bodhi Patriarch, who was sitting quietly, opened his eyes. Bodhi Patriarch was gentle and smiled kindly. Wu Yu, you are back. Have you been to the demon god realm these days? Wu Yu thought about it and did not answer for the time being, but asked back, Patriarch, do you know the heavenly Buddha immortal realm? He observed Bodhi Patriarch's reaction. When Bodhi Patriarch heard him ask this, his face changed slightly. You went to the heavenly Buddha immortal realm. Although Bodhi Patriarch's expression became very subtle, Wu Yu still caught it, making him secretly alert and dare not say more about the heavenly Buddha immortal realm. Because, even Bodhi Patriarch, now he feels untrustworthy. All the emperors of the Tiangong immortal realm and all the saints of the heavenly Buddha immortal realm, he always feels that something is wrong. So he shook his head. No, it's just a word that the disciple heard by chance. Recently, the disciple has been wandering around the demon god realm to see if he can encounter an opportunity to make himself break through. Yet, hearing this, Bodhi Patriarch nodded and said nothing more. Just now, after his expression changed slightly, he immediately restrained himself. At this moment, nothing could be seen from Bodhi Patriarch's face, so Wu Yu gave up. He said goodbye to Bodhi Patriarch, then left the Bodhi Hall, found a quiet and secluded place near Fangkuntian, and began to continue practicing. Wu Yu's practice, of course, is devouring. Now he has many holy Buddha relics and the Buddha's Buddhist corpses, which can be devoured to expand his own Tiantian Emperor realm. These resources he has, under his devouring magic, are basically the same as the Eternal Emperor burial, which can allow his Tiantian Emperor realm to continue to expand. When you reach the realm of Emperor Immortal, cultivation becomes simpler than before, but at the same time much more complicated. It is simple because the improvement of the Emperor Immortal realm does not require much profound enlightenment, and it mainly relies on expanding the Supreme God realm to make your own Emperor realm immortal power stronger. And it is complicated because expanding the Tiantian Emperor realm is not just a simple devouring. For Wu Yu, the first 3 levels of the Emperor Immortal realm were relatively fast, but it was not so easy to reach the 4th level. Even if he devoured more Emperor Immortal corpses and Saint Buddha remains, it was useless, because the subsequent cultivation required the creation of his own things, and it was not possible to break through by devouring and absorbing other people's experience. Of course, if he could devour Emperor Immortal corpses and Saint Buddha remains, he would still save a lot of time for cultivation. With the help of so many Emperor Immortal corpses, Saint Buddha remains and Saint Buddha relics, he is now breaking through the realm much faster than ordinary Emperor Immortals. I didn't write 3 chapters today, but I should be able to write 3 chapters tomorrow. At 12 o'clock tomorrow night, Crazy will take out 1000 yuan again, wrap it into 500 red envelopes, and give it back to the readers who support him. To grab the red envelope, open WeChat, add friends, search for the public account Feng Qingyang to follow, and then wait for about 12:05 tomorrow night. These days, many readers have sent red envelopes to Fengzi. Unknowingly, this book has reached 100 alliances. Thank you all. Fengzi will give back by updating. Heaven Swallowing Record. Author, Feng Qingyang. Chapter 1748. Wu Yu was completely immersed in cultivation. He had devoured the long eyebrow Arhat Holy Buddha and the Buddha Arhat, and gained some insights into the subsequent cultivation of the Holy Buddha and the Emperor Immortal realm. He is now at the 3rd level of Emperor Immortal. The stage of Eternal Emperor Immortal can only be regarded as just the beginning. To improve, he will need more things, which will be even more illusory. The key to the realm of the Imperial Immortal lies in creation. The core lies in the expansion of the Imperial realm, and after the expansion of the Imperial realm, it brings about the problem of creation. The creativity of every Emperor, Immortal, and Saint Buddha is different, so the Emperors and Buddhas they create are different. Wu Yu thought about many things in cultivation and felt that he still needed more precipitation before he could improve his realm. He first consolidated the 3rd level of the Emperor Immortal realm, and then began to consider the 4th level of the Emperor Immortal. He had finally come through the first 3 levels of the Immortal Emperor, but he still had no clue about the 4th level. Judging from the experience of many holy Buddhas and imperial demons, the 4th key to the realm of immortality is to create reincarnation in one's own imperial realm. Only by creating a complete reincarnation in the Imperial Realm can the mortals in the Imperial Realm have a complete life process. After death, they can be reincarnated as a soul and become a new life again. In this way, there will be an endless supply of life in the Imperial Realm, and there is no need for Wu Yu to create it one by one. Of course, after reincarnation, everything about that person disappears, and what appears is basically another person. The Imperial Realm has the reincarnation of the Imperial Realm, and the Immortal Realm has the reincarnation of the Immortal Realm. Once the Emperor Immortal dies, the Emperor Immortal's reincarnation will be merged into the Immortal Realm's reincarnation, which is equivalent to the small reincarnation integrating into the big reincarnation. This reminded Wu Yu of the past, when he was in the world of Jambu, Dongsheng Shenzhou in the world of Jambu. There were legends of reincarnation in the mortal world, but the people he came into contact with at that time were all mortals, or ordinary ascetics, and there was no such thing as to know something so profound. Now it seems that the reincarnation of the Jambu world has long been merged into the reincarnation of the Tiangong Immortal Realm and has become a part of the Tiangong Immortal Realm. Nowadays, when the holy Buddhas are fighting, they are used to swallowing up all the living beings in the Buddhist world for their own strength. However, the holy Buddhas who have reached the fourth level of realm can quickly create a new batch of mortals even if they swallow these living beings. It's because there is reincarnation in the Buddhist world. Wu Yu can now understand many things. He feels that he is moving towards a higher level. These things will not be exposed to those below the Emperor Immortal. In the Imperial Realm, the Emperor Immortal is the master. In Wu Yu's heaven-swallowing Emperor Realm, he is a god, the master who can control everything. At present, he does not know how to create reincarnation. After all, every holy Buddha, every Emperor Immortal and Emperor Demon have different ways and processes of creating reincarnation. It is difficult for Wu Yu to learn. This must be combined with his own talents. Okay. In the current Tiantian Emperor Realm, all the black energy storms caused by the crazy devouring have disappeared. However, Wu Yu was very vigilant. He knew that if he devoured too much, a storm of black energy would still occur in the Emperor's realm. He did not want to watch the mortals in his realm die. He began to recreate mortals and spread them all over the Imperial Realm one by one. These mortals cannot yet reincarnate, but the rich spiritual energy in the Imperial Realm still allows these mortals to practice. At this time, the Emperor's realm of swallowing heaven was in an ancient prehistoric era, with countless ferocious beasts running rampant. Survival was also a problem for mortals, but they could practice and still had the ability to protect themselves. Mortals in the heaven-devouring Emperor's realm can cultivate quite quickly, but unfortunately they are not yet able to cultivate into immortals, let alone stronger beings. Mainly because Wu Yu's current level is too low. Only if he reaches the fifth level of the Immortal Emperor Immortal, can mortals in his Imperial Realm become immortals, and his control over the Tiantian Emperor Realm is comparable to the ancient Yanhuang Emperor's control over the Yanfu world. Even stronger. After all, the entire Tiantian Emperor Realm was created by him. The mortals among them were all created by his own hands, and the entire Imperial Realm relied on his existence. Once he dies, his Imperial Realm will be taken over by the Heavenly Court and become one of the 90,000 small worlds. At that time, the Swallowing Heaven Emperor Realm will be the Swallowing Heaven world, with the same status as the Jambu world. Heavenly Court will also send some gods to it. Guard. Of course, Wu Yu never thought that he would die easily. After all, it was difficult for the Immortal Emperor to die. Unfortunately, it is a bit difficult to create reincarnation. It cannot be done in a short while. Wu Yu basically has no clue now. He can only give up this idea first and honestly create more mortals and let them spread throughout the entire Tiantian Emperor realm. From now on, he needs to exercise some restraint when using the relics of the Holy Buddha, otherwise it will be easy for the mortals in the Emperor's realm to die. Counting the time, Luo Bin and the others should be out. Wu Yu was a little nervous now, fearing that they would encounter any accidents in the demonic battlefield, but he still had more confidence in Luo Bin and the others and was not too worried. Thinking of Luo Bin, his heart felt hot. Various things happened constantly during this period, which made him a little tired to deal with it, and he couldn't relax for a long time. Immediately afterwards, he returned to the Bodhi Hall in Fang Kunshan, being careful to prevent being discovered by Master Tai. During this period, he didn't even dare to meet Emperor Xingxian, for fear of exposing some flaws and letting Master Tai find clues. This chapter is not over, please click on the next page to continue reading. It's not that Wu Yu doesn't believe in Emperor Zhuexing, it's just that Master Tai has great supernatural powers. Who knows if he will find him through some mysterious means. When Wu Yu stepped into the Bodhi Hall, it was exactly 10,000 years after Luo Bin and the others entered the battlefield of demons. As soon as he raised his head, he saw the graceful Luo Bin, the petite Yezixi, and Nanshan Wanjiao, who was holding a folding fan that was trembling. The three of them were all a little pale, and it was obvious that they had suffered a lot in the demonic battlefield. But in the end, everyone came out safely. Let's reunite. Patriarch Bodhi was a little surprised. He smiled slightly and was very kind. He never thought that Luo Bai and the three of them could all come out of the demonic battlefield alive. After all, the demonic battlefield was a great test for the immortal king. Apart from them, there would probably be no immortal king in the entire heaven who could withstand the test. Others are coming. Thank you, Patriarch. Wu Yu and the others were very grateful to Patriarch Bodhi. Patriarch Bodhi gave them the opportunity for all of this. Moreover, it seems that Patriarch Bodhi has not asked Wu Yu about the Ruyi golden cudgel. Wu Yu didn't think much about it, which was a good thing anyway. Very good. Wu Yu felt a little excited and ran up and hugged Luo Bin. He could feel that the immortal spirit in Luo Bin was the same as him before, and had already entered the realm of Emperor Immortal in advance. Of course, since she entered the demonic battlefield rather than the eternal battlefield, she did not completely break through and needed further retreat. Why are you nervous? Don't you still believe me? Luo Bin didn't expect that Wu Yu would come over and hug her, and she couldn't help but blush. How could it be? It's just that I haven't seen you for a long time. Wu Yu smiled but didn't let go of his hand. Tisk, tisk, it's not suitable for children, it's not suitable for children. While watching, Nanshan Wanjiao placed the folding fan in front of Yezixi, blocking her sight. You are only a child, and your whole family is a child. Yezixi was unhappy. How many thousands of years have I lived? You still treat me as a child. The two chased each other and left the field first, taking the initiative to give Wu Yu and Luo Bin some private space. As for Patriarch Bodhi, he smiled gently, waved his hand, and sent Wu Yu and Luo Bin back to their own palace. The surrounding environment suddenly became familiar, and the gentleness of the red candle lampstand soon made Wu Yu unable to extricate himself. He had no intention of letting go of the beauty, and slowly pressed her under him. What are you in such a hurry for? Luo Bin didn't expect Wu Yu to be so bold and said with a red face. Looking at her intoxicating beautiful eyes, Wu Yu didn't want to speak at all, and directly intertwined with her, telling her with his spiritual thoughts, Luo Bin, it is my lifelong honor to have you. Me too. The beauty was a little drunk, murmuring softly, and hooked Wu Yu's neck with her backhand. Beautiful scenery on a good day, intertwined lights and shadows. At this time, Wu Yu has not forgotten to inherit Luo Bin. On the one hand, she needs more understanding to try to break through to the Emperor Immortal. On the other hand, she can also directly convert the swallowed holy Buddha relics into inheritance, so that there will be less pressure in Wu Yu's heaven-swallowing Emperor realm. As he continued to pass on the inheritance, Luo Bin also continued to gain insights. Even after the love between the two ended, they did not leave each other, but immediately started to understand and practice.
Now is a critical moment. After all, for anyone, the realm of Emperor Immortal is a big turning point. For Luo Bin, only by entering the realm of Emperor Immortal can she help Wu Yu. She did not want to become a vase next to Wu Yu. Especially now that Wu Yu is getting stronger and stronger, having reached the 3rd level of the Emperor Immortal, and has even killed the 5th level of the Supreme Saint Buddha realm, Luo Bin is under great pressure. In the demonic battlefield, Luo Bin had already elevated the immortals and gods in her body to the realm of Emperor Immortal in advance. And with Wu Yu's inheritance, it is equivalent to Wu Yu devouring the corpse of the Emperor Demon in the Eternal Emperor's burial. Various understandings about the Tao are endless, and many of the keys to breaking through to the Emperor's Immortal have also been passed down by Luo Bin. A realization. At this moment, Nanshan Wanjiao and Yezixi should also be sprinting, but because of Wu Yu's inheritance, Luo Bin's speed is naturally the fastest. Finally, one night, Luo Bin's immortal body transformed, and a burst of eternal immortal energy burst out. At this moment, she finally achieved a leap and transformation in life level by relying on Wu Yu's inheritance and her own understanding. The realm of the immortal emperor and immortal has been broken through at this moment. Faintly, Wu Yu seemed to hear the roar of an ancient dragon, a divine and imperial aura that filled his entire palace. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Heaven Swallowing Record. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1749. Luo Bin's inheritance is the 8 dragons. This inheritance of the 8 dragons is different from Wu Yu and the other 2, because it is not only the inheritance of the cultivation method, but also changes Luo Bin herself. When Luo Bin entered the realm of the Eternal Emperor Immortal, her divine dragon body form changed and became the 8 dragons. The life form has completed the transformation, making Luo Bin's entire temperament unique, ethereal, and most importantly, her strength has greatly improved. Originally, she possessed the powerful magical powers of the 8 dragons' inheritance, and now, she can completely rebuild those magical powers into the Emperor Immortal Divine Art and the Emperor Dao magical powers. For example, the 10,000 combinations of heavenly fire, the 8 Buddhas, the dragon's reverse scales, and the dragon's unity. These 4 magical powers are the most important means for her, and now that she has stepped into the realm of the Emperor Immortal, as long as these 4 magical powers are upgraded, it will be a great help to Wu Yu. Especially the combination of heaven and dragon. Originally, when she used the combination of heaven and dragon and merged with Wu Yu's combat power would be partially improved. As for now, it can make Wu Yu's combat power soar, which is the magical power that Luo Bin now attaches the most importance to. Of course, she did not ignore the other 3 magical powers, and she must practice them together to give Wu Yu more help in battle. Entering the realm of Emperor Immortal, her whole temperament changed suddenly. Even Nanshan Wanjiao and Yezixi were a little amazed at her fairy temperament when they saw her again, far beyond the ordinary Emperor Immortal women. Since Senior Wu Jun entered the Emperor Immortal last time, I don't know if the Shenlong clan has a new Emperor Immortal. Luo Bin thought of the Xianlong clan and was a little excited. After all, she belongs to the Xianlong clan, and now she has entered the realm of Emperor Immortal, which can be regarded as the overall strength of the Xianlong clan has been improved again. No matter what, this good news must be told to everyone when I go back. Wu Yu nodded and said. He thought of the Dragon King Bai Yin, the Dragon King Bai Qin, and Wu Jun in the Immortal Dragon clan. He was mainly concerned about them. The news that Luo Bin became an Emperor Immortal must be let them know. But there is no need to rush. Luo Bin smiled gently and considerately. You pass on the inheritance to Nanshan and Zixi first, so that I can comprehend more magical powers and see if I can cultivate the original magical powers into the divine power of the Emperor and the divine art of the Emperor Immortal. Yes. Wu Yu nodded and did not refuse.
He couldn't lose sight of one thing while focusing on the other. He had a hunch that the difficulties he encountered on the road ahead were definitely not something he could solve alone. He and Luo Bin alone were not enough. The four major inheritances must be completely united to face the difficulties in the future. At least, now when Wu Yu recalled the terrifying aura from Xianzang that he felt in the Supreme Buddha realm, he felt a chill. The opponent's strength was too strong, so strong that people had no intention of fighting at all, as if the opponent could easily crush tens of thousands of themselves with just one finger. This feeling brought a deep shock to Wu Yu. So when Luo Bin proposed this point, Wu Yu agreed directly. In the next period of time, he began to pass on the inheritance to Nanshan Wanjiao and Yezixi, and Luo Bin comprehended the magical powers inherited from the 8 divisions of Heavenly Dragon. However, Wu Yu's inheritance of Nanshan Wanjiao and Yezixi was a little short, and the remaining ones needed them to comprehend by themselves before they could break through. Luo Bin comprehended the 4 most important magical powers again. From the perspective of the Emperor Immortal, these 4 magical powers are exactly the same as Wu Yu's somersault cloud, etc., and have achieved a new imperial magical power. This made Luo Bin's combat power suddenly soar to a large level, just like Wu Yu at the beginning. After entering the Emperor Immortal realm, Wu Yu defeated the Fire Dance Phoenix King who had defeated him before, relying on the 4 magical powers of transformation. You should go back to the Immortal Dragon Emperor realm first. I still need to think about it and comprehend it. I can't let you hold me back. Nanshan Wanjiao took the initiative to ask Wu Yu and Luo Bin to go back first. Yezixi had the same attitude. She and Nanshan Wanjiao might have a little difference in their understanding of the Emperor Immortal, perhaps in the inheritance. Although the 4 of them have the same inheritance level, Luo Bin's inheritance is still quite special, and there is even a kind of blood inheritance. Yezixi and Nanshan Wanjiao don't have it. Well, take care, come on. Wu Yu nodded, and finally said goodbye with Luo Bin. They haven't been back to the Immortal Dragon Emperor realm for a long time, and they don't know how Wu Jun and Bai Yin Dragon King and his wife are doing recently. This time when you go back, Tai Genren may know the news, you have to be careful. On the way, Luo Bin couldn't help but remind. Yes. Wu Yu nodded seriously. He knew this was very important. Don't be caught by Tai Genren by mistake. That would be tragic. At that time, he would have to hand over the Ruyi Jingbang even if he didn't want to. Returning to the Immortal Dragon realm, both of them were a little emotional. The last time Wu Yu was here, he had not yet entered the realm of Emperor Immortal. He just defeated Tianyu Longzun, who was in the realm of Emperor Immortal, with the realm of the peak of the Immortal King, and shocked the entire Immortal Dragon realm. After that, he was favored by Bodhi Patriarch, went to Fangkuntian, became Bodhi Patriarch's disciple, and participated in the Emperor Immortal trial. Finally, he transformed into an Emperor Immortal and became famous in the Heavenly Court. Looking back, the situation in the Immortal Dragon Emperor realm was already tens of thousands of years ago. This chapter is not finished yet, please click on the next page to continue reading the exciting content below. I really don't know how Wu Jun and the others are doing. Don't worry, Senior Wu Jun is already the Immortal Spirit Dragon Lord, and he has a high status in the Immortal Dragon Emperor realm. There won't be any accidents. Wu Yu comforted Luo Bin, and then returned to the Immortal Spirit realm of the Immortal Dragon Emperor realm. The news that Luo Bin entered the Emperor Immortal, they most wanted to let Wu Jun, and the Dragon King Bai Yin and the Dragon King Bai Qin know. After all, the 3 of them have always taken good care of Wu Yu and Luo Bin. If it weren't for the care of the 3 of them, it's hard to say whether Wu Yu and Luo Bin can get to this point today. On Qinyin Peak, the Dragon King Bai Yin and Wu Jun were drinking old wine and talking about some things about the Heavenly Court, while the Dragon King Bai Qin sat aside, smiling and listening to their chat. Alas! After the Emperor Immortal trial a while ago, I haven't heard any news about Wu Yu and Luo Bin. I don't know how they are now. Don't worry about them. Wu Yu has already entered the Emperor Immortal. What else can happen? But you, why don't you work hard and enter the eternal life as soon as possible, so that you can be truly free and at ease? Wu Jun shook his head. Eternal life, how can it be so easy? The couple of Bai Qin Dragon King and Bai Yin Dragon King looked at each other and smiled. We can do our best. If we really can't take that step, dust to dust, earth to earth, it's not bad. Anyway, we have lived for a long time. The two of them have a calm mentality and always treat others with sincerity. They are not too obsessed with the eternal Emperor Immortal. In this life, it is a blessing to be able to win the heart of one person and grow old together. What else do you need to ask for? Bai Yin Dragon King laughed coolly. You, there is no way to chat today. Wu Jun was quite depressed. Did they bully him for being single until now? But the next moment, they all felt a familiar but strange breath suddenly appeared outside their door. This breath surprised them. It seems that Lupin is back. Bacon Dragon King flashed and opened the door, and then saw two familiar figures. Wu Yu and Lupin were outside their door together. Why are you back? I just talked about you. Come in. Bacon Dragon King was immediately delighted. She missed her daughter and Wu Yu, who had not come back since defeating Tianyu Dragon Lord last time. This made them miss it. Even though they were all immortal kings, and 10,000 years passed like a white horse passing by, it had been tens of thousands of years since Wu Yu and Lupin left last time. Uncle, Aunt, Senior Wu Jun. Wu Yu came into the room and naturally bowed first. But at this time, everyone's focus was on Lupin, because she obviously had the breath of an Emperor Immortal. As for Wu Yu, he entered the realm of the Emperor Immortal after the Emperor Immortal trial. This had long been spread throughout the heavenly court, and they had known about it for a long time. But they had not heard any news about Luo Bin. How could they not be surprised to see that he was already an Emperor Immortal when they suddenly saw him? Good, great. You two have become Emperor Immortals now. It's not easy. Bai Yin Dragon King looked at them carefully, and his tears came out because of the sip of wine he just drank. And these tears were naturally not choked by the wine, but were a little moved. After all, when Wu Yu and Luo Bin first came to the heavenly court, how many realms were they? At that time, they were basically shouted and killed wherever they went, and Wu Yu even offended the Emperor Immortals of the level of the four heavenly kings and the ancient giant spirit god. The situation was as bad as it could be. But no matter how bad the environment was, they finally came out now. I said that I was optimistic about Wu Yu's potential at the beginning, and now it seems that I was right. Bai Qin Dragon King was also moved and wiped his tears. Wu Jun looked Wu Yu up and down, feeling a little depressed. Wu Yu, why do I feel that you are stronger than me now? Obviously, I should have entered the Emperor Immortal before you. Don't you know the talent of Wu Yu? It's not easy for him to surpass you. Bai Yin Dragon King laughed at the side. Don't you talk about me, just look at yourself. Wu Jun was unhappy, and said, the girl has already entered the Emperor Immortal, and you are still the same as before. Isn't it embarrassing? They quarreled frequently, and Wu Yu couldn't get a word in. Although his strength has improved now, even stronger than those people in front of him, no matter what, they are his elders and he will always respect them. In this way, the news that Luo Bin became the Emperor Immortal spread to the entire Xianlong Emperor realm. Soon, it attracted the Dragon Emperors and Dragon Lords of the Xianlong Emperor realm. Every noble being in the Immortal Dragon Emperor realm was astonished when they saw Luo Bin. They could not believe that such a junior could become an Emperor Immortal so quickly. Heaven-swallowing record. Author, Feng Qing Yang. Chapter 1750. The 9 Dragon Emperors came to Qinyin Peak one after another. There were also many Dragon Lords in the Immortal Dragon Emperor realm who rushed over after hearing the news. When they saw Luo Bin truly step into the Emperor Immortal realm, they were all surprised. You know, Luo Ben is an important existence in the immortal dragon clan. The faster she improves, the more significant it is to the immortal dragon clan. Even now, the entire immortal dragon clan is waiting for Luo Ben's true rise, so that they may be able to dig out some secrets from the ancient times. And now, Luo Ben has stepped into the Emperor Immortal realm. After achieving the Emperor Immortal, he began to become a big figure in the entire heavenly court. Even in the entire Immortal Dragon Emperor realm, the immortal dragons in the Emperor Immortal realm are the highest level. Once he enters the Emperor Immortal realm, he can become a Dragon Lord, join the Dragon Lord Association, and have the decision-making qualifications on some major events. Many Dragon Emperors and Dragon Lords looked at Luo Ben's achievements and sighed at their vision at the time. Fortunately, I trusted Wu Yu at the beginning. This guy really brought Lupin to the realm of Emperor Immortal, and the speed was so fast. That's right. If Lupin had been practicing in our Xianlong Emperor realm, she would still be far from the realm of Emperor Immortal. How could she be here today? Too amazing. How long has it been? She has already broken through to the realm of Emperor Immortal. At this speed, I'm afraid that in the near future, there will not be many people in our Xianlong Emperor realm who can be her opponent. The Dragon Emperors and Dragon Lords all sighed with emotion. They were very grateful to Wu Yu. After all, Lupin had been following Wu Yu all the time to reach such a realm. It is absolutely impossible to step into the realm of Emperor Immortal in such a short time in Xianlong Emperor realm anyway. Therefore, they were very grateful to Wu Yu. For most Dragon Emperors and Dragon Lords, they didn't have much aversion to Wu Yu. Now that they saw that Lupin had entered the realm of Emperor Immortal, they were even more optimistic about Wu Yu. Many Dragon Emperors and Dragon Lords came to Qinyan Peak to congratulate. Congratulations not only to Lupin, but also to Bacon Dragon King and Bian Dragon King, they have a good daughter. From now on, Lupin may even lead the entire Fairy Dragon clan to glory. The decision to let her follow Wu Yu now seems so correct. The entire Qinyan Peak was full of joy. Many Dragon Emperors and Dragon Lords had not encountered such exciting and happy things for a long time. However, under such a grand occasion, some people were still in a bad mood. Mainly Tianxin Dragon Emperor and his family, when they saw Wu Yu and Lupin, they still felt a little disdainful. In the eyes of Tianxin Dragon Emperor, even if a junior rose in the Emperor Immortal trial and achieved the realm of Eternal Emperor Immortal, he must be far behind the old Dragon Emperor like him. Seeing that all the major Dragon Emperors and Dragon Lords were circling around Wu Yu and Lupin, he was quite unhappy. The same was true for Tianyi Dragon King and Tianying Dragon King. The Tianxin Dragon Emperor and his family were all a little unhappy with Lupin's current grand occasion. In their eyes, the Dragon Emperor and the Dragon Lords were too much in congratulating Lupin. Even if Lupin became an Emperor Immortal, she still had a long way to go to reach the highest realm. What was there to be proud of now? So, the Tianxin Dragon Emperor considered it for a while, pretended to be indifferent and asked, "Wu Yu, what realm are you in now?" His question was a little condescending, like an elder asking a younger person. In his eyes, Wu Yu was indeed just a junior. When he asked this question, the Dragon Emperors and Dragon Lords around him stopped cheering and looked at Wu Yu, expecting his answer. After all, Wu Yu had shined in the Emperor Immortal trial before, and the whole heavenly court had heard about it. It was so brilliant that people wanted to know what realm he was in now. You know, even Luo Ben, who followed Wu Yu, has now stepped into the realm of Emperor Immortal. Will Wu Yu have made some breakthroughs in the realm of Emperor Immortal? Generally speaking, in such a short period of time, few people can break through from the first level of Emperor Immortal to the second level. But Wu Yu is a miracle. Since he came to the heavenly court, has he created few miracles? So Tianxin Dragon Emperor's question made all the Dragon Lords and Dragon Emperors around him look forward to it, and even Bai Yin Dragon King, Bai Qin Dragon King, and Wu Jun wanted to know Wu Yu's current realm. Of course, most of them think that Wu Yu should still be only the first level of Emperor Immortal now, and the possibility that he can improve during this period of time is too small. Hearing this question from Tianxin Dragon Emperor, Wu Yu smiled. This Tianxin Dragon Emperor has always been against him from the beginning, and he has long been unhappy with him. In the entire Immortal Dragon Emperor realm, only Tianxin Dragon Emperor will still make trouble for him. In this case, it is time for him to recognize his position. So Wu Yu looked at Tianxin Dragon Emperor, and said a sentence in the expectant eyes of everyone, "Tianxin Dragon Emperor, you ask me what realm I am in? I can only tell you that you are not my opponent." When this was said, everyone was shocked. No one expected Wu Yu to say such a thing, which was simply a slap in the face of Tianxin Dragon Emperor. Who is Tianxin Dragon Emperor? He is one of the 9 Dragon Emperors in the entire Xianlong Emperor realm. Whether it is his status or strength, he is the top in the Xianlong Emperor realm and is the core figure of the entire Xianlong clan. As a Dragon Emperor, his own strength is naturally needless to say. All along, the Xianlong Emperor realm has been able to maintain its current status in the heavenly court because of the existence of the 9 Dragon Emperors. And Wu Yu, after all, is just a junior. This chapter is not over yet, please click the next page to continue reading. It's not that other Dragon Emperors and Dragon Lords look down on Wu Yu, but, after all, Wu Yu has not been in heaven for a long time, unlike Tianxin Dragon Emperor, who has long been one of the Dragon Emperors of the Immortal Dragon Emperor realm. The gap between the two sides is simply unimaginable. Just from the realm, the Dragon Emperors and Dragon Lords of the Immortal Dragon Emperor realm basically know that Tianxin Dragon Emperor is the 5th level of the Immortal Emperor Immortal realm. This level can stand on the same level as the Emperor Immortals of the level of the 4 Heavenly Kings and the ancient giant spirit god. And what about Wu Yu? The Emperor Immortal trial he participated in was only tens of thousands of years ago. For the Immortal Emperor Immortal, this is really an extremely short period of time. In such a short period of time, it is difficult for Wu Yu to improve 1 level, not to mention to improve to the 5th level of the Immortal Emperor Immortal. This is almost impossible. So when Wu Yu said this, none of the Dragon Emperors and Dragon Lords in the field believed it. They all thought that Wu Yu might have something against Tianxin Dragon Emperor and wanted to take this opportunity to attack Tianxin Dragon Emperor. Even Bai Yin Dragon King, Bai Qin Dragon King and Wu Jun were shocked by Wu Yu's words. Saying that Tianxin Dragon Emperor is not his opponent? This statement is probably a bit exaggerated, right? The most important thing is Tianxin Dragon Emperor himself. Wu Jun and the others looked at Tianxin Dragon Emperor and saw the dark face of Tianxin Dragon Emperor. What kind of person is Tianxin Dragon Emperor? Has he ever been despised by such a junior? It can be said that in hundreds of thousands of years, he has never felt as humiliated as he is now. If other Dragon Emperors or the older generation of Emperor Immortals said this to him, he would be angry, but he would not feel ashamed. But the one who said this to him was Wu Yu, a junior. Very good. Wu Yu, you are indeed the most arrogant junior I have ever seen. The Tianxin Dragon Emperor had a cold face, even more unhappy than before. In this case, why don't we have a competition? He didn't believe that he would not be Wu Yu's opponent. No matter how talented Wu Yu was, how far could he grow in just a few tens of thousands of years? It's a pity that Wu Yu has the inheritance of the great sage equaling heaven and the talent of swallowing. Even if the time is very short, the progress he can make is not what Tianxin Dragon Emperor can imagine. Ordinary emperors and immortals generally have the opportunity to upgrade 1 level every hundreds of thousands of years. And Wu Yu relied on swallowing, and he was like a fish in water in the first 3 levels of the emperor. No one would have thought that he could reach the 3rd level of the emperor in just a few years, and relying on the inheritance of the great sage equaling heaven, his combat power reached the 5th level of the emperor. When he was in the Tianfo immortal realm, Wu Yu had defeated the Longmei Arhat and the Buddha Arhat. They were all in the 5th level of the Supreme Saint Buddha realm, which was equivalent to the 5th level of the Emperor. Now that Wu Yu has come back, he has made some progress. Although it is not big, it is not impossible to defeat Tianxin Dragon Emperor. So facing Tianxin Dragon Emperor's words, Wu Yu nodded seriously, okay, then let's have a fight. When he agreed, the Dragon Emperors and Dragon Lords around him were all a little dazed. They originally thought that Wu Yu just wanted to take the opportunity to express his dissatisfaction with Tianxin Dragon Emperor, but now it seems that he really thinks he can defeat Tianxin Dragon Emperor. Once Wu Yu defeated Tianyu Dragon Lord, who was already an Emperor Immortal at that time, with the Realm of Nine Heavens Immortal King. I didn't expect that he would challenge Tianxin Dragon Emperor now. The Dragon Emperors and Dragon Lords were all a little shocked and a little confused about Wu Yu's thoughts. Does he really have such strength, or is he just biting the bullet? Since both parties agreed, there is nothing to say, but in this fight, only the top leaders of the Immortal Dragon clan are qualified to watch the battle. Then, Tianxin, Wu Yu, please come this way. The other Dragon Emperors made way for Wu Yu and Tianxin Dragon Emperor to go to the competition venue. Wu Yu, are you sure? Luo Ben didn't know Wu Yu's specific combat power at the moment, but she felt that it would be extremely difficult to challenge an old generation Emperor Immortal like Tianxin Dragon Emperor. It should be no problem. Wu Yu nodded heavily. Yes. Luo Ben was relieved. She saw that since Wu Yu said so, he should not be unsure. However, Wu Jun and the couple of Bai Yin Dragon King did not have so much confidence in Wu Yu. They just felt that everything was developing too fast and they had no time to stop it. You are qualified to watch this competition. Remember to help at the critical moment and don't let Wu Yu get into trouble, Bai Qin Dragon King said to Wu Jun. Yes, don't worry, Wu Jun nodded, his expression a little solemn. He felt that the outcome of this competition between Wu Yu and Tianxin Dragon Emperor might be worse, so he had to prepare early. Red envelopes were sent out around 12:05 tonight, but I just saw it now. Please follow the WeChat public account Feng Qing Yang.